right, the time is 5:03. I am 5:01. I'm going to call the Committee of the Whole to order for October 13th, 2025. Clerk Boak, could you please do the roll?
Councilmember Cost?
Here.
Councilmember Brown?
Present.
Councilmember Spatafor? Councilmember Carter?
Here.
Councilmember Pelivanoglu?
Present.
Councilmember Garza?
Here.
Councilmember Hussein? Councilmember Jackson? 7 members present.
Thank you. Next, we're on to the minutes. Vice President Carter.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the September 29th minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a proper motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Before we move on to item 4, I have a brief statement I want to read. At this City Council Committee of the Whole meeting, we affirm the importance of every individual's right to speak and to be heard. Public comment is a vital part of our democratic process, and we welcome diverse perspectives in this space that value respectful dialogue. To maintain a productive and inclusive environment, we ask all participants to speak respectfully and listen attentively, even when opinions differ. Everyone deserves to share their views without interruption, intimidation, or hostility. Please be reminded that this forum operates under established rules to ensure fairness and order. If a participant speaks out of turn, disrupts others, or refuses to follow the rules of conduct, they may be asked to leave the meeting. Let us all do our part to contribute to a respectful, thoughtful, and civil discussion. And as a reminder, we will be stopping public comment sign-up at the start of agenda item C. At that time, the council staff will collect the sign-up sheet that's in the back of the room. If you're wishing to speak tonight, please make sure that you've signed up on the sheet. And then we will move on to item B, which is a resolution for the reappointment of Linda Sanchez Gazelle to the Citizens Retiree member of the Employees Retirement Board of Trustees for a term to expire June 30th, 2029. I think everybody's had sufficient time to look over the packet. And is there any questions on this? Okay, Vice President Carter.
I will make a motion for the resolution of a reappointment for Linda Sanchez Gazella, citizen retiree member of the Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees, term to expire June 30th, 2029.
Okay, we have a proper motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to item C. Clerk Boak, if you could please get the sign-up sheets for us for public comment, and then I will turn this discussion resolution advocacy support over to Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, President Cost. So we have this on the agenda a little bit different than what we're used to. If you see, we have the discussion for the resolution, then public comment, and then a vote on the resolution. So that's designed so that today can serve not as just like, let's pass it because it's good enough, but just to continue the dialogue, hear from people, and decide if we want to, as a council, reword or rework our resolution of support or pass it with changes today or pass it as is. So a little background is that last Committee of the Whole and council meeting, we had many residents and visitors of Lansing advocating for basically their right to live safely in the city. They referenced some recent activities that's been escalating in nature, and they asked for the city to make a response and to take their issues seriously and support some of the businesses that were affected and basically show that we do care. We had in our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee last week, we had people in the dais pretty much filled up. Most all of the seats were taken last week. And many people spoke about that same thing, but also explained some of the requests, asks, demands, if you will, mainly being a statement, being support for the businesses and to create an advisory board or some type of LGBTQ plus board that can help enlighten the city, the mayor's office, the council of some of the issues that their community is facing. So what we decided to do in the committee is there was a little bit of discussion on the best way to approach this, but I felt that we had enough to draft a draft resolution declaring the city of Lansing as an LGBTQ plus welcoming committee. The draft has been put in the packet since either Thursday or Friday. I worked on the draft and reached out to the Lansing Advocates for Trans Safety representative, and they were able to basically take some hours and disseminate it, I believe, and then came back with a change, mainly that they wanted to make sure that discrimination is included as something that's unacceptable by any city employees or city agencies receiving funds. But other than that, it's okay for a draft point today. So I would read it, but it's in the packet, and I'll probably read it once and if it ever gets passed. But that is the history of this resolution, and as you can see, it's for discussion and not necessarily has to be passed, but I can represent that. I feel it captures the general concerns and requests and is a starting point for future dialogue and continuation, especially as it comes to trans safety. So with that, I will pass it back to you, Mr. President.
Okay. I wanted to make folks aware that there are copies of this on the back table if you would like a copy to read it over yourself. And with that, I would open, sure, Councilmember Spatafor.
Yeah, this is unrelated. I got a point of order. For City TV, I've got a message from someone that the delay in the audio is significant on the TV feed, just for if you're paying attention to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Councilmember Spatafor.
Yeah, first I want to thank everyone that did come out to the committee last week. I said this at the committee. It was very very much appreciated by the members of the committee that folks came with items of action and action that were in many cases under the purview of city council or city government. So I appreciate the effort that we approached. I had one change to the resolution in front of us, Councilmember Jackson. The resolution, the whereas that starts with the Lansing City Council encourages the city administration. I would propose whereas the Lansing City Council will develop pro-LGBTQ plus ordinances and policies and encourages the administration to do the same to ensure that existing and new programs are inclusive of and accessible to LGBTQ plus affirming individuals and businesses, and to place LGBTQ plus community members to city boards and commissions or establish an LGBTQ plus advisory board to ensure representation and inclusion in civic decision-making. The reason I'm proposing that change is we have a part in this as well.
Is that a friendly amendment?
Thank you. I guess my comment would be a couple things. First is that, and I do appreciate you proposing that even beforehand, before today. Yes, we do have a part in it, but one thing is that we'll develop ordinances. Okay, I know that that the resolution isn't binding, but what ordinances will we develop? And when it says policies, we all are working and functioning in a strong mayoral form of government where it's been clear that the mayor's office and the administration makes the policies. And I think that's something that, since we are in this environment where the mayor's office makes the policies, does the contracts, does pretty much a lot compared to, traditional balances of power, that we do encourage the administration to do this, because when it comes down to it, if we tried to do a policy, our attorney would tell us that, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do policies. We can only recommend and encourage the administration's policy. But I'm not saying that I don't want, us to vote on that or accept it as friendly or have other discussion, but that's the reason why I have it that way instead of the other way.
Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, President Cost, and I agree with both council members, but I do concur with Councilman Jackson on that. I like the way it's written for that reason, because of the strong mayor system. Thank you.
Okay. So do we want to make that change to this? Do we want to take a vote on it? Mark?
Thank you. If I might just add, the administration is currently doing these things also. We have worked hard on trainings and on policies to make the administration and the city a welcoming place.
And I will comment. I've heard specifically now 3 incidents that have happened all within the ward that I represent, the first ward. And I want people to know that, not only is this important, but the mayor and myself have been on top of these issues as soon as they've happened. When the issue at the Avenue happened, I've been on the phone at least a dozen times so far with the owner, working with her, working with LPD, working with the mayor, working with public service to get different things for the front of the building where the new sidewalk is. I mean, it was all hands on deck immediately. When they came and they harassed businesses on Michigan Avenue, right off of where I live, I went and bought tin out of my own pocket for rubies. I was on the phone with Strange Matters owner immediately, Kara. I know the mayor was on the phone with these folks as well. And when the stuff happened in Old Town, I was there. We actually found some of it. And within 10 minutes, we had some of the filthy words written that were hateful taken off of the sidewalk. We are doing all we can. I certainly, in the first ward, will continue to push back on any hate, regardless of this resolution's outcome. And we've been working on it. I understand. I don't just empathize, but I'm a member of the community. And we know that there are problems, problems beyond what this resolution says in words. And we have to keep fighting. So, I apologize for my soapbox, but we are back to the question of the revision in, what is that, the 6th paragraph? Councilman Jackson.
Just a suggestion, since the action is after public comment, maybe we can wait until after that, because public comment was supposed to, by design, be a big part of,
Sure.
how we move.
Well, Mr. President, I'm not
Councilman
interested.
Spatafor.
Thank you. I'm not interested in the back and forth at this table about the wording of this whereas section. I just felt it was important to emphasize that we as a legislative body have a role also in this, and that's why the paragraph that I recommended did not strike encouragement of the administration, but rather brought our legislative piece into that. So we can talk about it after the public comment piece, but I wanted to be clear when going into public comment, it wasn't to wipe out the administration, it was to emphasize we have a role in this as a legislative body as well.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion on this, then we'll move on to the public comment section of this. As a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to speak, and you'll speak up at the podium, and I will call up the people I have on the list just by their first name. We have AJ first.
Oh, sorry. Hi there. I'm AJ Schicht. I've lived in Lansing for the past 5 years. I identify as a trans man. And firstly, I want to sincerely thank Councilperson Jackson and members of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Board that were present for our meeting on October 8th. Without you, we wouldn't be here today and continuing our conversation. However, let it be known that if passed, this resolution shows a commitment from you, the Lansing City Council, and it states that you're willing to begin the work of continuing to establish these protections, continuing to lay the groundwork for our LGBTQ community. We're living in a time, as you all know, where we're all under attack just for our identities, from local, state, and the federal administration. You have the power and the authority to represent the people who elected you by taking our concerns seriously, and don't let that power go to waste. Today, I implore that you continue to realize the humanity of your LGBTQ plus constituents through not only passing this resolution, but by following through and actualizing the promises and commitments outlined within the document. We need to ensure that the discriminatory behaviors and actions committed by organizations receiving city funds or by city employees is not tolerated. That the LGBTQ individuals are free to participate in for-profit and nonprofit business without fear of being attacked, harassed, and ashamed. That LGBTQ plus individuals can access gender-affirming healthcare in a dignified, safe, and private manner. We all deserve to live in a city that we are proud of and a city that is proud of all of us in turn. If you look around you, we don't have as many people as we did on October 8th. But there are still so many individuals that couldn't be here today and that are ready and eager to collaborate with you. There's a whole, I read that again. But yeah, thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you. Next, I have Ariana. Aria, sorry.
Good evening, council members. My name is Aria Mori, and I'm a Lansing resident, here to voice my strong support for the resolution declaring Lansing an LGBTQ welcoming city. This resolution matters deeply, not just as a statement of values, but as a reflection of who we are as a community. Lansing has always prided itself on being a place where everyone can belong. Yet as the resolution recognizes, threats and harassment towards the LGBTQ individuals and businesses have been on the rise. That reality demands leadership, not silence. By passing this resolution, you affirm that Lansing stands on the side of inclusion, safety, and dignity. You make it clear that hate has no home here. Not in our neighborhoods, not in our schools, and not in our city government. This declaration tells our LGBTQ plus neighbors that their lives, their families, and their contributions are valued and protected. I especially appreciate that the resolution goes beyond symbolic language. It calls for concrete steps, representation on boards and commissions, inclusive business support, and safeguards for access to gender-affirming care. These are meaningful commitments that can make our city stronger, more compassionate, and more just. Passing this resolution will not solve every challenge, but it will send a powerful message that in Lansing, every person has the right to live authentically, safely, and proudly. Thank you for your leadership, your courage, and your continued commitment to making Lansing a welcoming city for all.
Thank you. Next, we have Puppy.
Good afternoon. I'm here to just voice my support in favor of the resolution as it is currently written. Thank you, Councilman Jackson, for including discrimination in the list of actions that will not be tolerated. I did have a question why the verbiage welcoming city versus sanctuary city or anything else was used for that. Other than that, I am in favor of the motion.
Thank you. That concludes all of our public comment. So we are going to move on to discussion action. Item D, action resolution advocacy support. I will throw it back to Councilman Jackson.
Thank you. I would accept Councilperson Spatafor's friendly amendment and move the resolution with that friendly amendment.
Okay, do we have any further discussion with the acceptance of that friendly resolution? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimously. With no other business before this body, we're adjourned at 5:21.
Who frankly, this is a very small part of their job, and they're going against these super agents who are sharks, who know how to negotiate a very one-sided contract. Um, James Franklin was hired 12 years ago. It's not like they hired him away from somewhere in 2021.